Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about skincare for acne. If you're new here, my name is Dr. Clarissa Shah. I'm a dentist living in Southern California, and this is my women's lifestyle channel. To quickly summarize this video, these are the topics that I'm going to be going over. I'm going to talk about my skin and my background to give a little more knowledge as to the products I use and the habits that I've built. I'm going to talk about what products I use. I'm going to talk about my routines that I implement for minimizing acne breakouts. And I'm going to talk to you about some treatments that I've received in the past that have really helped with my acne. If you're not interested in the story part, please just check out the timestamps. I'm going to have everything timestamped, so if there's one particular topic that you're really interested in, you can just skip forward to that. So first I'm going to give you a little bit of background of my skin, my experience with acne, so that you know where I'm coming from. Like most people, I first developed acne as a teenager. It got really bad when I was about 15 years old. The type of acne that I had and currently have is not a cystic type of acne. It's also not an acne that scars me. I do get pigmentation scars, but I don't get any actual indentation scars from my acne. However, I do get pustules. They get big and red and hard, and I do have a lot of blackheads. So in high school, hormones were flowing. I, had always had some acne, but I must have been using something that extremely clogged my pores because I had a lot of really thick and hard acne spots on my chin, all along my chin area. It was so bad that my mom was like, oh my, you should do something about that. I was like, okay, thanks. That's what a 15-year-old wants to hear, right? But anyway, I was so desperate to find a solution that I ended up discovering a product that I still use today and is still made today. So I will be mentioning that in the product section, but that's essentially where my battle, I guess, with acne began. Once I figured out how to adequately clear up that really bad breakout session that I had, which mind you did last for about 4 months, so it wasn't like it was an overnight thing. It was quite some time to get my acne under control. I still continued to break out, and I'm in my 30s. I actually just turned 31 yesterday, and I still break out, especially with my hormones, or if I try a new product that doesn't sit well with my skin. I am very, very prone to getting breakouts. So I've kind of just accepted the fact that acne is something that I may have to live with for the rest of my life just because of the type of skin that I have. Very oily. My dad is very oily as well, and he's in his 60s, and he'll still get a little zit every now and then. Throughout my 20s, my acne was pretty much consistent. I pretty much used the same face wash, and it wasn't until I was in dental school in my late 20s that the acne flare-up came back yet again. And that's the photo that I have as the cover photo of this video. I honestly had another flare-up of acne like 10 years after the original one, even more, like 12 years after my original flare-up. A little backstory of that, I had actually tried PDO threads. That's where they put these little threads underneath the surface of your skin. It's supposed to help with collagen production and elasticity. To be honest, I really do not recommend them. We'll have another video on that later. But when I was using these threads, I decided to start washing my face with Dove soap because I had these little incisions on my face where they had put the threads, and I don't know. My husband uses Dove, and he still uses Dove to this day. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I could just wash with Dove soap. No, I do not recommend. I broke out all over the place insanely. I was so clogged, and these were the ones that even if you try to squeeze, they don't pop. So I ended up doing my routine, which I will tell you in a minute, and everything cleared up again. And I also went back and I got a refill of this prescription face wash that I had originally asked for when I was in my earlier years battling the acne. And that has been able to kind of maintain it along with, breakouts from stress from the wedding and all that other stuff I was going through last year. So now that you know the backstory and my experiences, I guess you can say, with acne, I want to talk to you about what I do now. So I'm going to be inserting right now a clip of what my face looks like with absolutely no makeup on. You can see some of the small little breakouts that I have throughout my face. I just finished my menses this month, so I do get hormonal outbreaks on the regular. And as you can see, I have a red hyperpigmentation patch on my left cheek. I actually have rosacea. I was just diagnosed with it, and I found out that my mom has rosacea as well. She failed to tell me that fact. But essentially, I have rosacea. It's pretty mild, and I don't do anything really for the management of that. I'm not interested at this moment for changing my diet or taking medication or using any type of other steroid cream in order to reduce the redness. It's kind of just there. So you saw what my face looked like. You saw what it looks like now. And let's get into the products that I use to get there. First, let's start off with a basic cleanser. I use a basic fragrance-free cleanser. The one I'm using right now is by Cetaphil. This is just a regular daily facial cleanser. It's for combination to oily and sensitive skin. So I love using this one. Another one of my favorites is the CeraVe, and I actually used this for years, and I really enjoy the CeraVe. I enjoy the scent and the feel of CeraVe more than I do Cetaphil, but I recently downloaded an app called Yucca, and essentially what it lets you do is scan the barcode on the back of any product that you're using, and it will tell you, it gives it a score of how good or bad it is for you based on the chemical components of the product. So I scanned this one, and it said actually that it's not that good for me, that there were some products in there that could be considered hazardous, and they recommended to try Cetaphil instead, which they said was actually great for you. So I switched back. I had used this before a long time ago, but both of the facial cleansers are pretty much the same. They're for sensitive skin, they're fragrance free, and they don't clog your pores. In the past, I had tried pretty much a myriad of different cleansers. We've got the Neutrogena, we've got the salicylic acid, we have benzoyl peroxide. There is a bunch of stuff on the market, clearly, as you know. And what I found is the fewer chemicals that I put on my face, the better. And I will be doing a completely separate skincare routine. People do ask me all the time about what I use for my day-to-day skincare routine. I feel like that routine is more for anti-aging, and it doesn't really fall under the umbrella of acne. So I am going to be doing a separate video on that. But I take a lot of my recommendations directly from dermatologists, and you don't need to have an appointment with a dermatologist in order to learn a dermatologist's recommendation. That's what's so great about this day and age. I actually listen to a lot of podcasts, and one of the main things that I've picked up is that when it comes to skincare, less is more. Everyone thinks, oh, I need all these products. I need my 8-step skincare routine. Shh. But really, you don't. Less is more, and you need products that are going to be targeted towards the problems that you have, not really just an umbrella effect. I found that was kind of a similar solution and situation with my own acne skincare. I don't use any cleanser that's got salicylic acid or whatever other stuff they can put in there. I use just a regular fragrance-free cleanser that's going to help me remove the dirt and oil and makeup from my face. Then I use a medicated cleanser on top of that for my acne. So the cleanser that I use and love is a sulfur-based cleanser. And I actually requested a sulfur-based cleanser from my doctor years ago because I had tried a sulfur-based product and it worked really well for my skin. Originally, I was using the oxy pads, all those things that were popular like 15 years ago. Very heavy doses of benzoyl peroxide. I actually developed an allergic reaction to it where my face got so red and swollen and irritated. It was very painful, but my skin reacted very well to the sulfur. So I had asked for a prescription face wash, and they actually had it. And the one that I use is by the brand Acela Pharmaceuticals. This is a sodium sulfacetamide sulfur cleanser. And this one is prescription only. You can definitely request this from your primary care provider or from a dermatologist if you go and see, just to try it out. One thing I will say about this cleanser, they say it's not as easy to come by. I recently just did switch insurances, and this is not carried in several pharmacies. So Kaiser doesn't have this. There are other pharmacies that don't have it. I've been able to successfully pick it up at CVS in the United States, and usually if the pharmacy doesn't have what the prescription is, they'll order it in for me. Insurance does cover some of it, but there is no guarantee that there is 100% coverage with this. The good thing is that this bottle is really big, and this honestly can last me like 6 months, because it's not about the quantity that you put on. It's kind of how long you leave it on for and massaging it in. I wash my face with this twice a day, morning and night. I don't wash for any more than that, any more frequency, because I find that it will dry my skin out. So morning and night, first I'm in the shower, I wash my face with this regular cleanser. I'm also making sure that I'm cleansing my eyelash extensions. For any of you ladies who have eyelash extensions, we gotta wash them daily. And then I rinse my face off, and I'll go in with just a touch of the sulfur cleanser. This is not taking off my makeup. I'm not putting this on my eyes. This is only for the affected areas. So essentially I'll just do a little squirt, and honestly a tiny amount. Think of a pea-sized amount, or maybe double, so 2 peas, garbanzo bean-sized amount. And I rub it between my fingers like this, and I just smear a very thin layer, and I'll massage it into where I know I have some acne going on. Usually I do get some acne around these areas. These guys take forever to clear up. So I'll massage it in, and then if I'm rinsing my body, I'll just leave the sulfur wash on there for 30 seconds to 1 minute while I rinse the rest of my body off, and I let it work its magic. Specifically on the directions for this, it says massage gently into skin for 10 to 20 seconds. It doesn't mention it on this one, but it did mention it on one of my older bottles. It said that if you found that you needed a more concentrated effect, that you could either up the frequency and the amount of washing, or you could leave it on for a little bit longer. And so that's what I do. If I'm not having any breakouts and it's a good time of the month, I'll just do a thin layer, and like the directions say, rinse off within 10 to 20 seconds, just so that my face, it's kind of like to maintain, right? Like any new little guys that want to pop up, we just kind of kill them in their path. But if I'm like during the time of the month and I know I'm going to get breakouts, or I know I have one right now, I just let that thing sit on there and work its magic. So I know that a prescription face wash is not available to everybody. It's really going to depend on your health insurance and or how much you are willing to pay out of pocket if you don't have coverage for this. Like I mentioned, none of my insurances have offered complete coverage for this. I have always had to pay a pretty significant amount out of pocket. But if this bottle lasts me for 6 months and I pay $100 for this bottle, it's essentially like I'm paying $15, $16 a month for face wash. So just think of it that way. Again, your frequency and the amount that you use is really going to determine how long it will last you. It may last you even more than 6 months, just depending. Another thing that you can do is ask your doctor or your pharmacist if there are any other generic options or any other formulations of sulfur face wash. This can't be the only one on the market. Come on, don't lie to us. There has to be more than one sulfur face wash, but ask to see what your insurance covers. Ask to see if there are any alternatives that you can try. That's what I'm going to be doing once this one finishes. If you don't want to go the prescription face wash route, then I would recommend checking out to see if there is a face wash that has some sulfur in it. That can also be really helpful. I find that sulfur is the #1 product that is super effective against my acne. So the next thing that I'm going to talk to you about is truly a little miracle bottle, and it is a sulfur-based drying lotion. The bottle is a little bit dirty, I'm sorry guys, because it's been in my cabinet, but this is from the brand called Bye Bye Blemish, and I know you guys have seen something similar to this by, I believe it's Mario, let me see, Mario Badescu? I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but let's look at these prices, shall we? We've got an acne drying lotion by MAD Skincare or MAD Skincare. We've got one by Kate Somerville. We've got the Mario one. $24, $28, $17. Bye Bye Blemish, $9.79. Let me let you guys in on a little secret. So I was desperate when I was 15. At that time, there was no TikTok, there was no Instagram, like the internet was barely doing blogs. And where did you go for skincare? I went to my local pharmacy, I went to Walgreens, and I was like scouring the aisles for whatever I could find. And this little guy, Bye Bye Blemish, was in a box that said Hollywood's best kept secret. This little thing has been around forever. This guy is the OG. All these other copycats, and this one has been $10 for a long time. I remember getting this and using it. It worked really, really well for me. And I thought to myself, damn, it's so affordable. I can't believe no one else has one of these. And I was just waiting. Honestly, you have like that feeling, boom, copycats left and right, copied probably the exact same formula. It looks exactly the same. And they charged over double the price for just changing the sticker. So Bye Bye Blemish is the OG. This one is exactly the same as all these other drying lotions, and essentially what it is like a sulfur and clay drying lotion. So sulfur is the main active ingredient in here. It's got alcohol on the top, and essentially what you do is you unscrew the cap, you dip in a little Q-tip, you get some of the pink stuff on your Q-tip, and you just put it on those little areas where you are having a blemish. This is what truly turned my skin around at that time, because when I was in high school, I didn't have this sulfur face wash. It was this guy. Well, this is literally like a holy grail product. I still have this. If I'm running low, I'm gonna, continue buying it. I will never be without this product. I don't have to use it so often anymore because my acne is a little more under control now. But when I have a little cystic guy that's coming out, the kind that don't have a head, but they're really hard and they're under the skin and it hurts when you poke them, and they're red, I put this on there. I start drying it up immediately. If I freshly pop a pimple, I get a little bit of the drying lotion. It's gonna burn like a bee because it has alcohol in it. But trust me, it clears your stuff up right away. So I definitely love that product and I definitely recommend using it. Next, I'm going to talk about some beauty procedures that I've had done that I find to be extremely helpful in terms of clearing up acne. The number one thing is going to be a facial, and specifically a microdermabrasion facial. They use this little machine. It gets rid of dead skin cells, and if you've never had a facial before, essentially they put hot mist or vapor around your face. Your skin gets really nice and soft, and then they go in with their special instruments and they squeeze out all of your pimples. When I was 15 and I had that first major outbreak, I could not find anything that was helping me. Out of desperation, my mom offered to pay for me to have a microdermabrasion facial, and when I got that done, I remember getting this little guy and putting it on all the areas they had worked on. It cleared up my acne. And same thing with this recent outbreak I had when I got the PDO threads. I said, holy moly, there were no heads to squeeze. I said, I need a microdermabrasion facial. I found one. I booked like that week and I went, and sure enough, after it started to clear up. I'm not one of those people that gets facials all the time. I love facials. My best friend's actually an esthetician, but I don't get facials often. When I do though, I really enjoy the microdermabrasion facial, and I think it's very beneficial for clearing up acne and helping you work on those areas. Another thing that I wanted to mention, this is gonna lead into the next topic, which is habits that I implemented and follow super strictly to prevent the spread of acne and to minimize any acne outbreaks. And the first thing is, how do you pop your pimples? They call it extractions. So funny. Like I said, my best friend's an esthetician. She's like, oh, I'm just doing some extractions. And then there I am, like in dentistry, like also doing some extractions. Just a different kind. So initially when I went in for the consultation, I was 15, and my technician had told me, whatever you do, do not pop any of your pimples. If you get a head, a white head, leave it, don't touch it. I had always tried to pick at my pimples before, and it was really hard, but I stayed pretty disciplined. From that time up until I got my facial, I did not pop any of my pimples. And when I went into the appointment, I do remember I had about 4 or 5 big, pustule whiteheads. She does the facial, she pops the pimples for me. And I asked her, I said, I thought you said not to pop the pimples. She said, the reason we don't want you popping them at home is because we don't know if you're doing it the right way. And when you pop them, all of the pus and the infection and the bacteria that's inside of the pimple can come out and spread to other areas. This was her analogy. I don't know if that's 100% accurate. It made sense, and it really changed the way I pop my own pimples at home. So what I do is I take a piece of toilet paper. This is just one square of toilet paper, and I cut it in half like this. Then I use my 2 pointer fingers. I will wrap the toilet paper like that over one, wrap the toilet paper like that of the other one. So I have like 2 little mittens over these fingers. I'll look in the mirror and once that pimple pops or these get bloody, in fact, for each pimple, I literally toss. I throw them away. Don't ever recycle the same tissue that you use to pop one pimple to the next, because there is bacteria there. The moral of the story is you want to be super hygienic when you're popping your pimples, and you want to try to minimize the spread of any type of juice or content or fluid from one pimple to the next. You also don't want that spreading to other parts of your face. Again, after I pop my pimple, I usually always dab a little bit of this drying lotion or whatever medicine you can right on top of it. Your pore is literally open. It's like an open wound. So it's perfect to receive that medicine so that your skin can start clearing up. Now I want to talk about my routines and certain habits that I have in that routine that I just do not break ever, like ever. So first off, my skin is very oily, super oily. When I wake up in the morning, it literally looks like somebody got that spray oil or like oily sunscreen and went all over my face. So because I'm so oily, I'm super paranoid, and I don't like to recycle a lot of the stuff that I use on my face. When I take off my makeup, I use these Kirkland facial towelettes. These are awesome. These have not made me break out. I pretty much only use this in the evening when I come home to take off my makeup. Every single time I wash my face, I use a new towel to dry it. So essentially, I have a pack of face cloths, or these are like just regular washcloths. A pack of these 5, I think, is like $5 from Target. You can really get them anywhere. They have these at Walmart. They have these at Costco, I'm sure, Home Goods, TJ Maxx, Marshalls. You can get them anywhere. I just happen to order them from Target, but they're little washcloths, such as this. And similar to the concept of not wanting to use the same tissue to pop all your pimples, I don't use the same towel to wash my face every day or multiple times a day. The reason for that is when the towel gets damp, bacteria and yeast will start to grow on this, and I don't want to recontaminate my face once it's clean. So I have a stack of these. Honestly, I think I must have like 20 towels now of the little ones, but I use a fresh one for the morning and a fresh one for the evening. I used to use just one a day, but I feel like as time went on, I don't know, I just started becoming a little more OCD with it. So even when I take a shower, I use my body towel several times. I'll use my body towel hopefully for about 1 week until it starts to not be so fresh anymore. Then I switch them out. Definitely no longer than a week. Shortest time would be about 4 to 5 days, depending on how like airy it is in the house. And how humid the towel gets. But I do not dry my face with my body towel. The reason for that is the soaps that I use can have some oil. Like if I'm ever using some type of oil scrub to exfoliate my legs or in shower body lotion, anything of that sort, I don't want the residue from that getting on my face. So I'm never going to use the towel that I dry my body with to then dry my face. That's going to spread product that I don't want onto my facial area. I literally just come out, I put my hair in a little hair turban, and I get one of these fresh guys and like a quick little dab like that. Then I'll just reuse this one. Like I said, when I wash my face in the morning, I use this guy. When I wash my face at night, I use another one of these guys, and then I just do laundry. So this has been super, super, super important for me, using a fresh washcloth every single time I'm going to dry my face, or at least every like few times I'm going to dry my face. Another thing that's super important is to change your pillowcase often. Now, I change my sheets every other week. So I don't change them every single week. When I was growing up, my mom is super on top of that. She changes the sheets every single week in the house. Pillowcases, everything. Everything's changed once a week and washed. We have a very big comforter and a duvet insert, which makes it quite the pain in the ass to change, honestly. So I change my sheets every other week, but I change my pillowcases every single week. This may change. My preference definitely would be to change the duvet cover and, you know, any sheet underneath weekly, because I feel like I can be pretty sweaty sometimes when I sleep, and it's just cleaner that way. But my husband, he does so many great things, but he hates changing sheets. I have no help, you know, in that department. So I'm definitely not gonna be doing that by myself every single week. It's like too much work. And you need 2 people to change that duvet. It's so big. So for now, we change it every other week. What I do though is at the week mark, I will flip the duvet. So the part that was on the foot side is now on the face side, and the part that was on the face side is now on the foot side. And I do that because, like I said, I'm so oily. So if I'm sleeping with a blankie and the blanket is sucking up that oil that's on my face, that is going to cause acne. Not washing your sheets or not changing your sheets and blankets enough is a huge cause of acne. So if you don't do that, I would just recommend doing it now, starting right now, and see if that improves. If your acne is pretty severe, I would change the sheets and pillowcases every single week, for sure, without fail. The type of detergent that you use also could be causing you to break out, so figuring out what detergent will work for you is very crucial. For me, I'm okay with the sheets being there every other week as long as I change the pillowcases, which is where I mainly rest my face. Those poor things are getting all the damn oil from my hair, from my face, so they need to be changed pretty frequently. And I definitely do notice, I've noticed in the past when I'd be sleeping over at my husband's house and he was kind of like a little more relaxed in the frequency of his changing of his sheets, I would start to break out and I'd say, these sheets need to be changed now. Another thing I don't do is I do not use any type of hair oil in my hair. To be honest, I hardly use any hair product in my hair if I can help it. And don't get me wrong, I hate it. Like, my hair is very frizzy and I would love to be able to use like those delicious creams that manage frizz and make your hair silky and smooth and shiny. I've used hair oil in the past, and at the time I was parting my hair in the middle and having it frame my face. I broke out all over from the hair oil. Also, whatever oils go on the pillowcase and then I put my face on them, it just makes me break out. So the less product I can use, the better. I just use shampoo and conditioner. That's literally all I use for my hair every single day. What I would like to implement as well is starting to sleep with a hair bonnet. So if I don't wash my hair every single day and I do have some greasiness, I want that all to stay in the bonnet so that my face touching the pillow is not going to pick up any of that excess oil. Unfortunately, I still can't use any type of hair oil or cream even with the bonnet, and that's because when my hair is down, it's going to be touching my face. But as far as greasiness from like not washing every single day, that's pretty much localized to the scalp and the roots of my hair, so that is what can get transferred during sleep. Another thing I don't do is I never touch my face if I can help it. Just don't. Your hands are so dirty. They touch everything. They touch doorknobs. They touch your phone. You put your phone on the table. Your hands have so much bacteria on them that it can easily transfer to your face. So if I can help it, I do not touch my face. If I'm going to touch my face, I need to wash my hands before. I don't let anyone else touch my face either. So I'd highly recommend just getting into the habit of not touching your face. That's really going to help minimize any type of acne breakout that you have. And the last trick that I want to share with you guys is how I test out new products. Like I mentioned, my skin is so prone and pretty sensitive to developing acne. I have noticed when I change foundation, all of a sudden I'll start getting pimples. I can't really use cream blush or cream contour sticks because it will clog my pores. What I do is, if I'm ever interested in trying out a new product, I will test them one at a time. That means I don't go out there and buy the whole set of something. I don't buy the lotion and the serum and the this and the that. I buy one product, the one I'm most interested in, and I see how my skin reacts, adding it to my routine. Everything else is the same. My sunscreen is the same, my face wash is the same, my makeup is the same. So if I break out, I know it's that new product that I've added to my routine. If I start testing a bunch of different products, if I have like 3 different creams and an essence and all this kind of craziness, and I try them out and I break out, I will never know which one it is. I'll just have to discontinue all of them. Trying products one at a time is also a way to be less wasteful. If you don't like something, it's just one product that you have to discontinue, not an entire line of products because you don't know which one it was, like I said, that made you break out. The same also goes with makeup. There's a reason why I have my favorite products and I pretty much don't deviate from them. I use the same foundation, powder and liquid foundation. I use like the same blushes. I use pretty much the same everything skincare wise, because when I find something that works for me, I really want to stick to it. I'm not one of those people that goes out and is switching up her foundation routine often. I don't know if it's going to break me out, and to be honest, I like my routine right now. There's really no reason to try something new. I know a lot of products come out with a lot of hype and they say that they're the biggest and the baddest things and the best things. But just because someone else says it's the best thing doesn't mean it's the best thing for you. So just kind of take that into consideration. And lastly, I just want to say that a big part of maturing and growing and coexisting with acne for all of these years, going on like 17 years now, is also just self-love and acceptance. And I know everybody preaches self-love and you're just like, okay, that's a little pious. But what I mean by that is normal skin is not perfect. My skin is not perfect. It definitely has imperfections. And to be honest, the majority of people's skin is not perfect. You don't need to have a truly flawless face every single day of the year in order to still be happy. Do you want your skin to be the healthiest? Yes. Is acne a total blow to your self-confidence? Can it make you self-conscious? Yes, absolutely. I'm not saying to ever stop striving for better and to search out solutions that will make your skin the healthiest. But I am saying just don't be super obsessed with being perfect and clearing it all up. Sometimes if I have a zit, I'm just like, it's there. I have a pimple. Yes. And honestly, I really don't use concealer, so I'm not the best at covering them up. You'll definitely see when I have a pimple, like sometimes it's just hanging out. So just give yourself a little bit of grace. Nobody is perfect. Nobody's skin is perfect. Even celebrities who invest thousands of dollars and have teams of doctors and estheticians, on speed dial, even they don't have perfect skin every single day of the week. So just do your best, don't compare, and love yourself for your imperfections as well. I'm sure there are a million other great things about you. Don't only focus on the things you want to fix. All right, that's my life pearl for the day. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna have everything linked below in the description box with references to the products and the names that I use. If you guys do have any questions at all, please feel free to leave me a comment. I do read all of my comments and I do respond to them. Not always in the most timely manner, but I really do try to respond to everything within 1 week. So yeah, take care. I'll see you guys in 1 week. I have new videos every week, and I'll see you next time.